Hello? Are you there? Who's in there? I am Ray, and reality shifts the moment you stop trying. So it's time to be lazy. Don't you want to be lazy? And I don't mean lazy like sit on your couch and eat Cheetos all day, like like a fool. You can be doing things in the world, but psychologically, you can be at ease and relaxed and not worrying about nothing. That's the secret. Don't you like secrets? Hot. Hot like today's video. Think about it this way. You got all of this potential, right, that you're not living up to, right? And it has all the heavens and all the hells and all the good stuff and all the bad stuff. And all of that potential is being funneled into the present moment and actualizing as well your current experience. And this is where people don't really understand how reality is set up. It's because they're just trying to, go about their daily lives, doing their monkey business, eating bananas, not realizing that their reality is created not from the external world, but from your imagination, from your mind. So first thing we want to do is stop living so much outward and start living more in. Because that is the causal nature of reality, or the part of reality that causes everything. And if you stay reacting to your circumstances all the time, you will stay stuck. When you focus on the circumstances you are currently experiencing, and if they're negative, it causes your fight or flight system to get all fighty and flighty. So you get really stressed out and you're like, oh, I gotta really make this work. I gotta do a lot. I gotta work overtime. I gotta do more. You're reacting to your circumstances. Sends you into fight or flight, and now you're freaking out. And what do you think that does to your energy? It makes you think negative, because your thoughts are now just a reflection of whatever it is you're experiencing. If you're experiencing lack and scarcity, now you're thinking about lack and scarcity all the time because, well, that's what you're experiencing, right? Well, the only reason you're thinking about it, if you are, is because you're reacting to your circumstances. And that's going to make you feel bad. And that's going to make you take action that is influenced by everything else. In this case, you think lack and scarcity, you feel lack, and you act in ways that reinforce lack and scarcity. So what do you expect? You only reinforce the situation, the exact thing you're trying to get out of. And that goes for everything you're experiencing, whatever problem you might be going through. But the moment you stop focusing outside of yourself and you start focusing within, you start imagining the life you actually want to live. You start thinking differently, you start feeling differently, and you start acting differently. And think about the energy of not trying. That is abundance. You are telling the universe with your energy, I'm in no rush, it's all good. Everything is going to come to me already. I don't have to worry about it, I don't have to stress about it. And the difference between you and a normal lazy person is because lazy people don't know what they want. And so they don't do anything, they just drift through life. But once you get clear on what you want, using your imagination, you can move in that direction while at the same time being at ease and relaxed. And that is the quickest way for you to receive. Because think about the version of you in that infinite potential that already has everything you want. Are they trying really hard to get what you want? No, they already have it. So you want your energy now to align with that imaginary version of you. So you bring that potential version into the present moment and actualize it. And that is when your reality begins to change. But if you're acting with haste and a lot of tension and a lot of worry and fear, and I gotta do this really, I gotta work extra at my shift at McDonald's because then I won't be able to buy any Christmas presents. And that's not very good. In that moment where you're trying really hard, you're taking that infinite potential, the version of you that's stuck trying really hard, and that is what you're actualizing. And if you pay close attention, This has nothing to do with saying that working hard is bad. It's all about psychologically where you're coming from. Because you can work really hard and not be desperate. You can be working hard out of passion and love, and I really want to do this. This is my purpose. My porpoise. I didn't realize you could own a porpoise. That is the change we want to make, because it's the change that makes all the difference. If you can just remember these few steps, you're golden. Step number 1, stop looking outside of yourself and start looking within, for Christ's sake. Start asking yourselves the big question. Who are you and what do you want? And you don't have to think, a million years into the future. You can just be like, what do I want now in this season of my life? Then you get clear about it. And you're like, okay, I want that. What does the version of me that exists in infinite potential, how would they feel? How would they think? How would they act? It's more important that you focus on how they think and how they feel, because your actions will take care of themselves. Or you could focus only on the actions, and it's going to influence your feelings and how you think. Doesn't matter. These 3 things are what determine your energy. And all you want to do is continue stabilizing in the new energy. And whenever the old energy tries to come back and grab your cheeks, you just say, well, life is being viewed through the windshield, not the rear view mirror. Forget about it. Doesn't matter. The energy comes, it goes, you don't feed it. You just keep focusing on where you're going. You don't want to fight the darkness, you don't want to fight the problems and the bad stuff. You just want to keep steadfast in where you're going. Because the more you wrestle with the problems and whatever it is you face, the more it's going to mess up your energy, waste your time, distract you from what you actually want. So, there's no purpose. Here's another way I like to look at it. So the potential is on this kind of scale from heaven to hell. You have the lowest hells and the highest heavens. And these little lines right here are called timelines. So each and every day there are these potential ways your day can unfold that will either result in your best life or your worst life. Like, you wake up one morning, you go outside, you get hit by a meteor. And that's not very good. And your mind is like an antenna that tunes into these different timelines that are like radio stations. So you got heaven radio and you got hell radio. And whatever station that you are tuned into is determined by your energy. I like to call it your energetic signature. It's your unique identification on an energetic level. And whatever the quality is of your energy, that determines the quality of the experiences that you attract. And your energetic signature, as I said, is determined by your thoughts, feelings, and actions. You can't lie to the universe. You can't pretend. Your energy doesn't lie. So if you find yourself continuously attracting negative situations, it is because somewhere along the line, your thoughts are messed up. You're thinking about the wrong things, you're focusing on the wrong things, and it's messing up your energy. And this is so unbelievably complex that this doesn't do it justice. Because think about it, you might be really successful in one area of your life, but you also might be a complete failure in another level. So in no way is this black and white. And where most people go wrong is that they stay stuck in these lower hell realms trying to deal with the problems they're experiencing. They got some self-destructive behavior, some addiction, some problem. They got no money, they got no cash money. So they spend their whole lives on these lower timelines trying to escape, which means you're focusing on the problems, you're struggling with them, you're fighting them. It's doing the opposite of what people intend, when instead you want to transcend them. Because the more you focus on the problems, the more you're going to stay stuck. And what you will find is that when you raise your energy, many of the old problems, many of the old addictions, they simply begin to fall away naturally because you are no longer in alignment with that energy. So everything that you attract in this life has to resonate with you. It's like, think about human beings and food. All food fundamentally comes from the sun. And all the point of food is to give us energy, right? But you might ask, well, why do we have to eat the cow? Why can't we just eat the grass? We can just eat the grass, right? It comes from the same place. The grass gets its life from the sun. The cow gets its life from the grass. Vegan logic. The problem is, grass is not in alignment. The energy of grass is not in alignment with humans. So we cannot eat it. But the energy of the cow is in alignment with human beings. So there's that resonance. There's that attraction. I want to eat this. I don't want to eat that. So too, if you're in the energy of abundance, you attract abundance automatically. And you push away lack and scarcity. But if you're operating in the energy of lack and scarcity, you're doing the opposite. You're pushing away all the abundance. So it takes some awareness to look at your life and say, okay, this is an area of my life that's not going the way I want it to. Why? Well, now you know, okay, it's because somewhere my thoughts are not in alignment with the outcome that I desire. And in fact, it must mean that my thoughts, feelings, and actions are in alignment with what I don't desire. And with that awareness, you gain a little bit of power to just nudge yourself in a little bit better direction. You realize that focusing on the problem and struggling with it and dealing with it is only going to make you feel worse. Look at where you are going, not at where you are. Because the more you focus on your desired reality, your desired outcomes, the more you're going to feel good. You're going to feel excited. You're going to feel like, oh, something good is going to happen. And you just keep persisting. You persist in focusing on what you do want, and you stop focusing on what you don't want. And over time, it becomes more natural to start thinking in alignment with what you desire. Because as your energy is shifting, it's shifting out of alignment with these lower negative realities. Like, for example, you're struggling with cash money, but you start focusing on what you do want. You start looking at the infinite potential and saying, okay, this is how much money I want to make. This is generally what my dream life looks like. And you continue focusing on that. And now you start to feel a little bit more abundant day after day. The more you learn how to have faith and trust, the less your current circumstances will have power over you. And you can relax and you can be at ease. You can slow down, because that's actually the quickest way to get what you desire. And so what we want to do, we want to stop living from 3D consciousness that says, my current situation is not good, so I got to do a lot of things to get out of it. And we want to start living from 5D consciousness, or whatever you want to call it, that says the only thing that matters is your energy, the energy that you put off. So if you focus your mind one-pointedly toward managing your energy instead of managing your external circumstances, you start acting like a divine creator who knows what they're doing, and you stop living less from this heavy, dense reality that everyone else is living in. And as you start rising up to these higher and higher timelines, many of the other problems just fall away, and you'll know which problems are persisting, because you'll hit these like walls that won't let you go any further, because you got some kind of trauma blocking your energy, keeping your energy from being free and open and light. Like, for example, if you've lived your whole life struggling with money, your body associates it with fear and worry and lack and scarcity, so you try to be abundant, you try to repeat positive affirmations in the mirror, but your body says, I don't believe you, I'm afraid, this isn't working, keeps you stuck in fear. That's not the problem. The problem is not the fear and the worry and the shame and the guilt or whatever it is. That's not what messes up your energy. What messes up your energy is feeding those things and reacting to them and ruminating on those feelings and allowing them to persist. Because if you have a negative feeling, it's just going to pass. All feelings come and go. But if you keep focusing on the feeling and the story behind it, then it doesn't come and go, it stays. And that is what really messes you up, keeps you stuck. So don't worry about, oh, I had some fear, I'm going to attract bad things. That's not how it works. What matters is consistency and integrity of your energy. If you're consistently in fear and worry and negativity over days and weeks and months, then yeah, that's a big problem. You're going to attract a lot of bad things. But you can always stop the momentum by focusing on changing your state of being. So if you find yourself in a negative state or a negative mood, you have to find something reliable that you can do over and over again that snaps you out of it, that breaks that negative momentum. Because negativity and positivity, they're like trains. You like trains? Once they start going and you hop on that train, it's hard to stop it as it builds momentum. It's like if you wake up in the morning and you're feeling negative and you hate your life, if you don't stop that negativity, it's going to leak into the rest of your day and into the next day and into the next day. But once you realize that the point is not to try and escape your circumstances, it's not to be a realist and say, oh, my life sucks. You can accept where you are without allowing it to get you resentful. But instead, you focus on feeling good now. You focus on managing your energy, changing your state of being, instead of just dealing with the problems you're currently facing. And the better you feel more often, the more you naturally rise to these higher timelines. And you start attracting better and better things. And you get in this feedback loop of positivity because more good things happen and then you look at the good things. Now you can start looking out your external world because you're seeing evidence of more positive things. So you can use that as evidence to feel better. Yes, it's working. Everything is working out perfectly. Look at the evidence. Because that is what your nervous system, that is what your body is looking for. It's looking for evidence that everything is okay. But you're feeding it certain evidence all the time with your thoughts. So if you're saying, life is not good, this sucks, your body's saying, oh no, I gotta freak out. I gotta freak out all the time. I gotta be anxious all the time. Because we're living in a hell realm and this is not good. We gotta do something about it. So your nervous system keeps you in fight or flight, stuck in fear, worry. But your body doesn't know the difference between an experience in the world or an experience in your imagination. You can tell your body anything. You can be like, hey, it's all good. Don't worry. Relax. Just take it easy. Surrender. Let it go. Let go of the outcome. Whatever's going to happen is going to happen. Over time, you start to relax a little bit more. You calm down. And when you stop trying so hard, you tell your body, we don't need to try so hard anymore. Look at the evidence. Because the only ones who try really hard are the ones at the bottom, struggling to get up. Or the people higher up trying not to lose what they have. But it all comes down to desperation. You don't want to live that way. Because the more you try and control reality, the more you're going to be upset. Because reality is too big for your hands to hold it. All control inevitably fails. But the more you relax, you stop trying so hard, you let life do all the heavy lifting. And you'll see it. Instead of you needing to do the most, life effortlessly puts into your lap all of the things that you need at the right moment. All of the right opportunities, all of the right ideas and thoughts. Life is actively trying to help you live your best life. But we continue to get in the way because we have this thing called free will that says, well, right now I can think of a pink elephant. Yep, there's one. Or right now I can think of, oh, my life sucks. Yep. The only reason people have to grind and struggle their life away is because they don't realize there's a better way of living. The more relaxed you can be, the more at ease in your body, the easier life becomes. the more fun you can have, the more you do things you love. You stop worrying about outcomes, and you deprioritize things that are not actually that important, like money. Money is not bad. You want money. You don't want money to rule your life. And in reality, energy is the real currency. It's the only thing that is true. Money is just paper. It's all fake. It's numbers. Yet that is what we prioritize. Authenticity and feeling at home in your body is far more important than trying to get something from other people. Like, I need a relationship or I need friends. How about you friend yourself? How about you love yourself first? Ever think of that? Because everything that you try and get in this life will come and go. It will never satisfy you fully. All true satisfaction comes from within you. You learn to love yourself, and then you can attract love. You learn to be relaxed and at peace, no matter what, and you stop attracting chaos and negativity. You learn to have fun and enjoy life now, and you attract more experiences to have fun and enjoy life. And think about it, that's a much better game than what most people are playing. Most people are playing life on hard mode because they believe that, oh, well, I just have to do all of this stuff. I have no choice. I have no choice. Not realizing that they believe their slavery into existence because they're looking at their external world and the evidence is saying, you must be a slave. And then they just accept it and say, okay, must be true. Never questioning it. And that is the price of ignorance. Slavery and death. But now you have a new way of living. You can live life on easy mode. And it doesn't mean you can't work hard and do a whole bunch of stuff. It means now you're aware of the causal reality, the source from which your experiences arise. That is you, your energy, your energetic signature. And when you focus one-pointedly on this, you don't need to worry about outcomes. You don't need to worry about how you're going to change. It's irrelevant. The path will unveil itself as you walk it. All you have to do is recognize this inner compass that's telling you, hey, you've temporarily fallen off the path. You feel bad, you feel fear or worry. It doesn't mean you did anything wrong necessarily. It's just an indication, like a check engine light saying, hey, you went down a little bit. Whatever you just did, course correct and don't keep going down. And whenever you feel good, you make note of it. Oh, this feels good. It must be in alignment with my desired reality. And you just do more of that. And over time, day after day, you just are now aware of all the things in your life that make you feel worse, and all the things in your life that make you feel better. And you just throw yourself at the wall. I'm going to do my best to do more good things that make me feel good, and I'm going to do my best to stop doing the things that make me feel bad. And you're going to fail, and you're going to succeed, and you're going to fail, and you're going to succeed. Just keep going. As long as you persist, you're going to make it. You're going to be just fine. Don't worry about it. And when you fall off your horse, don't wallow in suffering about how much it hurts. Just get back on your horse and keep moving forward. The past is the past. You can't do nothing about it. Enjoy the ride. Relax. Be at ease. Have more fun. And you will see how everything begins working out perfectly for you. I am Ray. Find your tribe in the Spiritual Rebels community. Why don't you? Much peace and many blessings. And remember, just be